So it is Friday, June the 15th, and we are back for another pre-Wimbledon discussion and podcast for the current grass court season, rolling into my favorite major tournament, which is Wimbledon. So we did a video yesterday, the day before yesterday, and appreciate the commentary and feedback from everyone. So we decided to go ahead and do either an every other day video leading up to Wimbledon, and then every day when the tournament's going on, or just take it day by day and see what happens. So our first discussion was about potential dark horses, or how we thought the best would do going into Wimbledon. And it was really kind of difficult to think about every player without kind of looking at every player while doing a video. So we came more prepared for this one. So I have the rankings 1 through a couple hundred for both men and women, and that way we can kind of pick and choose and start discussing some names. So I'm going to start today's discussion with the men, and I don't know if I'll work top to bottom, but I'm going to talk about some players that I think have chances, and as well as Carla here. So I hope you enjoy the video, and let's see if we can get the discussion going. So on the men's side, the number 1 seed is obviously Nadal. How does Nadal do?
He'll do well. I think, he can get to the finals, semifinals. Nadal is always a contender in any surface.
So is his minor aches and pains a worry for him, or him withdrawing from the most recent grass tournament, the warm up? Is that a problem for Nadal?
I think it's a smart thing for him at his age. He just had a long clay season, so it's smart for him to take a little break. He can play on any surface, and I don't really think he cares about winning Wimbledon, honestly.
All right, I would have to agree with this. I think Nadal may bail early in this tournament. Again, he may shock the world and win another one. I think now he has, 17 majors?
Yes.
17, and Roger has 20, so there has to be some grit behind that competition in of itself. But I think he'll make the right decision moving forward. So let's look at Federer. How does Federer do in this Wimbledon?
I think this will be Federer's last Wimbledon. I think he will try to win it for sure. Can he? We'll see. Depending how his game is, how he's feeling. He's older.
So
he will definitely try to win this one. This is his favorite.
So you think this is Federer's last Wimbledon?
Yes, I do.
So he will not say during his acceptance speech this year that he will or will not be back, or he'll just remain mute? Which way?
He'll leave it neutral. He's going to be 37 years old.
In August?
He's exactly 2 years older than me, so.
They share the same birthday, by the way.
Yes.
All right, so I think we can all kind of look past, at this point, Nadal, Federer. If they're on, and they're both on separate sides of the draws, we should see them in the final. Potential anyway, and I think it would be a final for the record books. But I think that's the most obvious. Personally, I think Federer may not win this year, not because of age, but just because of the time off 2 years in a row. He pulled it off last year, but I really think for some reason we're going to have a new Wimbledon champion this year, or maybe throw in a Djokovic who is trying to claw his way back in. So look, what about Sasha or Alexander Zverev? How does he do?
He's got a lot to prove to the world. He's won a lot of master tournaments, and he can do it. I don't think he will, in my opinion, but he has a great chance. He's one of the youngsters that could win a Grand Slam this year.
Good point. For me, Zverev's issue, not an issue, probably one of the many issues his coaches are probably working on with him, is going 3 out of 5 sets with the very tall, thin frame. It's great. I'm tall, I'm thin, and a lot of times when I play Carla here and 3 set matches and so forth, I begin to cramp a little bit. And yeah, I'm 40, so there's a little bit of a give and take there. I understand that too. I think he could use more quadricep strength, a little bit more leg strength, and I think he'll be primed to win a major, but I don't think he's ready yet. I think he may make a quarter or around a 16, but I think that's about as far as he'll go. So let's look at Del Potro. How does Del Potro do?
Del Potro is actually due for another Grand Slam. I think he can get to the semis, quarter semis, depending who's on his side of the draw. But this is a great surface for his game. He's got a powerful forehand serve. He likes the points to end quickly, so this is a good surface for him.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree here. Totally 100%. I couldn't have said it better. When Del Potro is firing and having the opportunity to hit, say, 80% forehands, even if he's going inside out, leaving his court open, if he gets on and gets dialed in, it's really hard on the surface, I think, to penetrate his game. But we'll see. But I think Delpo has the opportunity to go deep. I don't know if I want to say to a final. It depends upon where he lands in the draw, but it's very, very possible. It's very possible. Obviously, his fitness and health and injuries, we have to hope that he doesn't have any injuries. But as long as he stays healthy and stays goal-oriented, I think he'll have a great Wimbledon for sure. All right, so let's look at Marin Cilic. How does Cilic do?
He's got a similar game to Del Potro. Not one of my favorite players, but he has a great chance. He was at the Wimbledon final last year. Unfortunately for him, he didn't play well, and I think the emotions got to him. He will go far. He's one of those players that could make a final, could win a Grand Slam. Surprise a lot of people.
Mental. There's a couple players for me, and you may agree or disagree, that have, in my opinion, from having been around the game and coached it for so many years, I see a switch that flips in Cilic, like with Monfils or like with Murray. They get in the limelight, they get set, they get ready for the big win. It's break point, it's match point, or they need to hold really bad. And here comes what seems to be a visible collapse in body language, in effort, in focus. I see Cilic as one of these players. He can play great. He can beat the daylights out of you. But if he's rattled, he tends to drift off in a different direction. So I think Cilic will have a good tournament, possible quarter, maybe a semi. I don't think we see Cilic in a final this year. Dimitrov, what do we think about Dimitrov?
I wish he would win a Grand Slam. I mean, so many people talked about him when he first, baby Federer. He's got the game, but unfortunately he doesn't have the heart, nor the stamina, nor the mental toughness to win a Grand Slam.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to totally agree with this. If I was first, I would have had to have said basically the same thing. For me, I felt like Dimitrov coming on was more about the look and emulation of the great Roger, and I felt like he was trying to be someone else and not trying to be himself, therefore leaving him behind. I really hope he does well, but I'd be shocked if Dimitrov gets past the fourth round or loses in the round of 16. So I'm with you on that one totally. We're going to move to Thiem, Dominic Thiem. How do we think Thiem's going to do?
I picked Thiem to actually win this Grand Slam. He's got a powerful game, and he's hungry. He likes to finish points quickly, but he can stay on the court for a long time, so I think he could win it. I think he'll surprise us. If he could face a Federer in the final, and I think he would win it.
Okay, that's big. That's big stuff. That's big stuff. For me, Thiem will have a problem on grass because, let's say 5 times out of 10, and I'd have to look at the statistics, but he tends to jump up into the air and hit his backhand. When you're playing someone like Nadal, you're playing someone like Federer, or you're playing someone like Del Potro, if you give up an error on an easy shot because you jumped and hit your one-hander, you're going to pay for that. With that said, I'm going to put Thiem in this tournament alongside the likes of Dimitrov. I don't see them in a semi here. I know he just made a French Open final, but on grass, if you're consistently, or at least a coin toss percentage of the time, hitting backhands long or wide, that should be well within the court because you jumped at it. I think that's going to hurt him 3 out of 5 sets on grass. So we'll see. Let's move on. And a lot of these names at this point start to get, well, no one knows who they are. Or they're your habitual players that get to the third or fourth round and drop out. So we're not going to go all the way down this list, but I would like to get into a brief discussion about some of these players here that you may or may not know about, and that we may know about, or vice versa, that I think have a great chance at a deep run at this tournament, if not win it outright. So I'm going to skip over, say, the Goffin, the Isner, the Schwartzman. Carreno Busta, I think, has a possibility here.
He's gone far. He went far last year. Yes. Well, he's got your grass. He's again not your typical Spanish player. He likes fast surface. He did well at the U.S. Open. Did well at the Wimbledon. So,
I'm just checking the camera, by the way.
So he'll be fine. Carreno Busta likes the surface. He'll be fine.
All right. So I'm going to throw a name out there, and I don't know why I throw this name out there, but I think this surface suits him unlike any other, and that's Lucas Pouille. The Frenchman, for me, it seems like a really overall good grass court player. He's number 17 in the world at this point in time. I think you should watch out for Lucas Pouille. Do you disagree?
Completely disagree. He's dropped a lot of points. He's inconsistent. He's one of those forgettable names. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you heard about him because he beat Nadal several years ago. What else is he?
That was Lucas Rosal.
No, I thought it was also Pouille.
Maybe so. Maybe so. I have to check my.
No, I don't think he'll go past second or third round. Sorry.
Okay, so we finally have a disagreement here. I think Pouille will do great. She disagrees and thinks Pouille will not. So we'll keep our eyes on that for future discussion. Put a mark by Pouille.
You actually have a better chance with actually Kyle Edmund. Edmund is British, and I think he'll do well.
So Kyle Edmund.
Yeah.
I think he's come a long way. I think she's followed his game more than I have. She actually picked him in a bracket that we did not long ago and did really well with him. So I can't agree or disagree with that, but Edmund, I know, has worked hard, and I think he has passed up Murray for the number 1 player in Great Britain, I think.
Young, strong, and they'll be behind him this year.
So applaud Edmund. I don't know much more outside of his hard court season, a little bit on clay, but hopefully he does well and does good for Britain. I have to mention Tomas Berdych. Worked so hard for so long. Made a final against Nadal, I think, right?
Yes.
And lost to Nadal. Really hard-working player, but it seems to me as he's gotten a little bit older that his tenacity has fallen off some. When I'm watching him play, I know he lost to Raonic today in Stuttgart, I think. It was 7-6, 7-6. Close match, but I didn't see that Berdych of old, the spring, the pep, the fire, the tenacity. I kind of saw an aging player on that level, such as we have both gone through. So I don't think we can count for much from Berdych, can we?
No, he's lost his passion for tennis. He's just playing a play. I mean, no, there's nothing there left in him.
All right, so how about the Korean kid, Chung?
He's been injured. I don't think he played that much at the clay season. I mean, I'm hoping to see some of him. I don't think we'll hear about him in Wimbledon too much.
I'm going to agree there. I think it's been a good run. I don't know what type of injuries he has. I haven't looked that up. I know he had a really bad blister problem. So if it's anything more than that, then we hope he's well. I think this surface is a little much for the young man, and I think when he meets the right opponent, such as even a Gasquet, we can't forget about Gasquet here. Do I think Gasquet will go very far? Maybe third, fourth round. He could drop out in the first. He could make a quarter. But I think when you mention veterans, like even the likes of Gasquets that would meet a Chung, I think Chung will probably lose that pretty quickly. All right, so let's talk about Djokovic, number 21 coming in. I think he has a good opportunity to win the entire tournament.
Not my favorite player. Can he get far? Sure. I don't know that he could win a Grand Slam. Maybe he'll be ready for the U.S. Open. I'm not sure about Wimbledon. I mean, Djokovic, he's won 12 Grand Slams, so sure, why not? But he's got a long way to go still.
Yeah, I think for me, and I'm going to check the camera real quick. I think for me, I would have to say logically I agree in that when you just look at his court appearance, he doesn't seem like that beastly Djokovic that we watched for a couple of years there that just dominated the game.
That's because he's lost confidence. He needs to gain that by winning more.
I know that it's there, though. I know it's there, and I think that the right tournament will come, and I think he'll find that rhythm. I think he needs one of the big top 10 players. I know he should be there, but I'm just, in terms of the current rankings, I think if he meets any of these players and he's giving up too much, I think he'll lose quickly. But if he finds that rhythm, I think Djokovic could possibly, and I said this in the first video, upset alert, upset alert, upset alert, upset alert. I think Djokovic wins the tournament.
Okay.
So we'll keep that as a note for next time. How about Denis Shapovalov? This is her future #1 pick. I don't see it. I just don't. A sloppy game for me, but
well, he just lost. He lost in the first or second round of Stuttgart.
yes.
So he didn't do well. I'm not sure. I'll keep watching some of the tournaments before Wimbledon. I mean, I think he can get to the 4th round. Why not? He's got fire, personality.
All right, so here's a quick history lesson. About 7 years ago, Carla told me that the future #1 of the world tennis player would be Alexander Dolgopolov. She likes that flashy game stuff. Flashy, flashy, flashy. It's great, it's fine, it's cool for a little while, kind of like Kyrgios. It's cool. And then
I don't like Kyrgios.
And then it just gets old, right? You know, who needs it? So, Dolgopolov, great young player, great, but obviously he didn't quite get to #1 in the world.
But he's 19. I mean, he's got a great game. I mean, I'm not the only one that says it. Once Federer and Nadal are gone, you need a few. Diem, you got Zverev, you got Shapovalov, Edmund. I mean, they're all on that top list. They all have a chance.
Disagree. I don't think Shapovalov will crack the top 10. If he does, maybe 8, 7. I think he needs a lot more work, in my opinion.
He's 19.
19.
Yes.
Yeah, so a couple of years, we'll see what happens with him. But I think the next great Nadal or Federer will creep out by 18 to 19 to 20 years old, somewhere in there. So we'll see what happens there. So moving forward, how does not Nishikori? How does Kyrgios perform?
The same as always. I don't know why people think he's great. No, I don't even see him going past the 2nd round.
Okay.
He's the clown of tennis. Sorry.
Strong feelings.
Great game, but he's got an attitude problem, and I don't see desire in him wanting to be a Grand Slam champion. No, he's like a Monfils, except Monfils is a little more respectful on the court.
Pretty tough criticism there. So Kyrgios, if you're out there, we do pull for you. We do pull for you, buddy. We really do.
Okay.
But kind of time to kind of man up a little bit and get out there and figure out if you want to play.
And time's passing him by. He's getting older every year, and it's still the same result.
Yeah, I mean, there's no chance he sees the video. So you're a great player. We really enjoy your game, but man, when you lose it, it's like turning off a light switch. So hey, we're pulling for you. Stay tough. Hope you get off this trail and move to that trail. If it is what you want to do, then we hope to see you do it. Anybody outside of the top 25? Then we're going to move into, let's say, Nishikori, who's at 26. Does Nishikori have a chance?
No. He just doesn't have the weapons. Michael Chang's trying his best.
I don't think Chang. How far did Chang ever get at Wimbledon for the Surface?
I don't know how far he got, but Chang was always in the top 10. I mean, Nishikori's 26 now, so he's dropped out of that top 10.
You know, a fun story about the Chang family is when my sister and I grew up in the Encinitas, California area. We trained at San Diego Tennis Club in the Encinitas or Carlsbad area, and I don't recall it, but my sister played some doubles with Chang and met his family on numerous occasions. I was about 2, she was 8 or so I don't recall it, but nonetheless, family history. All right, so how about Feliciano Lopez? A really good player, a really good gentleman, at least what I watch on the court, and has a nice backhand. Do you think he's got a chance?
Second, third round.
Okay.
He's older now. I mean, he can upset a top player, yes. But I don't see more than that.
How about moving on? How about the potential of Gasquet?
No, another player that's full of talent but just doesn't have it. I mean, he doesn't have the heart for tennis. It seems like all these French players, great talents come out of there, but no one does anything big. Monfils, Gasquet. You've got who's retiring soon?
Chardy, Beneteau.
I mean, they're all getting older, and France has a lot of talented players, but no one that's even close to winning a Grand Slam. I mean, you got Tsonga. You got Tsonga.
True, very true.
Tsonga's ranked now.
Is Tsonga playing the tournament?
He's number 51.
Okay.
I mean, Tsonga was the closest that any French player has come.
So I think Tsonga pulling that out of the hat. I'm surprised we didn't come across Tsonga already. I think Tsonga is always history, Wimbledon history. Wasn't it Tsonga that Federer was up 2-0 on, up a break in the third and final set, and ended up losing to Tsonga in 5?
Yes.
It was like a quarterfinal or a semi? No, it was a quarter because I think Tsonga lost into the semi to Djokovic, and I think Djokovic won that tournament. But I have to check my history on that. Milos Raonic. How does he do? He had a good win over Berdych today, but I think we just discussed Berdych being a little slower than we have seen him. I think personally, if Raonic can get through his service games quickly and have some type of decent return game, I think he can make maybe a quarter. But I think, barring any injuries, maybe before a quarter. But I think we'll see the end of Raonic at the quarters or before.
Agree. I mean, he's got a powerful game. Again, he's one of those players. Mentally, do you have it there? I mean, a lot of these guys they got to get through that hurdle. Mental toughness. But he has a good chance, from what I saw today.
All right, so as we approach kind of the end of this discussion, and we're going to go deeper, this will be a multi-episode type podcast. So I think we have gone through maybe the first 40 or 50 in the world. And as we move forward, we're going to do a women's side of the draw a little bit later. We were going to put both of them into one show, but this one has pushed, I think, over 20 minutes already. So the 5 kids are inside. It's a rainy day, so we're not at the courts. So we'll have time to do it later. And for now, though, I want to end it with any thoughts on some of these young kids, such as Borna Koric, Sapistas, or Tapistas, Sistipas, if I pronounced that correctly. Let's look at, there's a couple other ones. Tiafo, the American. Did I miss any of the other? Oh, how about the American Jared Bonison? I think no shot. We talked about Zverev. We talked about what's the Kyrgios? Who's some of the other next gen? We've talked about TM. Anybody that I'm missing here that has a chance, at least glancing in terms of the young ones? I think Koric has a chance. Don't think it'll happen. You think Zverev has a chance? Don't think it'll happen. Taylor Fritz is another young American. I think not a chance at all.
They're just not ready for that. I mean, I don't see anybody here that the youngsters. I see a lot of veterans.
Big servers have a chance, like the Karlovic's or Kevin Andersons?
No, maybe one round.
Okay.
You mentioned Medvedev.
Daniil Medvedev, he's 52 in the world. I think he's 22 now, though. I don't see him. I mean, I know he's trying. He's pulling everything together and really trying. But I don't think we're going to see much from him at this tournament. So, hey guys, again, this is going to be a multi-part thing. Carla and I did one as an introductory show the day before yesterday, and definitely had some messages from people to definitely keep it up. So hopefully it was decent. We're going to do the women's one a little bit later. We'll put our thoughts together, discuss it a little bit. And we have, but it's just going to take too long for one sitting. So hey, thanks for watching, everyone. Click like below, subscribe below, and we'll move on to the women's side of this grass court season. Anticipations for Wimbledon, who we think has a chance, or Will the Halep have a chance? Well, is she a defensive player, or is this more of an offensive surface? So we'll get into that type of discussion and why maybe some of the women are harder to forecast. So for now, take care. Click a like below, subscribe below. Have a great day. Happy Father's Day, by the way, to every father out there. It's very hard work to be a mother or a father. So applause to you guys for being a father. But hey, it's definitely worth it. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll have the next men's discussion in, say, 2 days, and we'll have the next women's discussion here this afternoon. So hey, take care everyone. Have a great one. Click a like below, subscribe below, and thanks again. See ya.